What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ryan, and this is the Thunder Channel on Nootropics. As you see on the screen, you're probably wondering what the hell is all this. These are two prototypes for t-shirts that are going to be launching soon. I've got some price quotes. I want to get some better price quotes on them so I can make it as cheap as possible for you folks to make these shirts. But we're getting into doing some Nootropics merchandise. So this shirt right here is a prototype. It says uridine/CDP, and then it goes because to-do list, and then it has hashtag Nootropics. The one underneath is fueled by aniracetam. Very, very sick designs. Going to be designing a couple more, and then probably just initially launching maybe like 2 or 3 4 max t-shirts. So look forward to that. I'll keep you guys posted when they launch, and you can get them. They'll be like between 21 and 24 bucks, as cheap as we can make them, at livecortex.com. In the meantime, guys, this broadcast is sponsored by a couple products. Number one, the Cortex stack. Powerful pre-made nootropic stack. It's a stack you want to take if you just need mental energy, verbal fluency, the will to do work. It's work that you don't want to do. Cortex nootropic stack you can find right here at livecortex.com for a bunch of nootropic products. If you're new to nootropics, you got to get Nootropics Ground Zero. It's a video course that I created for people that are brand new. Shows you the rope, shows you everything, gives you great stacks, and it's a video course of yours truly. Get that at livecortex.com. All the rest of our products are available at livecortex.com, including the 3.5-month and the 6-month intensive consulting nootropics packages, where you work with me for that entire duration to nail down heavy amounts of nootropic stacks, and then also optimizing energy physiology at the same time for performance. Okay, so going to talk about, like if I just move my head down a little bit, you see it says stop rushing compounds into recovery. And the context is the following. So like, let's just take the PSSD folks as an example, and then perhaps let's take, an ADD-esque person as another example, right? Like if you're trying to repair that chemistry, you have to have the right chemicals, and you do have to try things. However, when you get a regimen in place that is functioning well more than 3 or 4 days, indicating that it's actually doing repair work and not just getting you into a window that you'll just exit for one reason or another, because the brain's going back into that crazy stubborn state, you have to know that perhaps the regimen as it is just needs some more time to work, and that if it's not perfect, not necessarily to rush additional compounds into the regimen, but perhaps just modify the regimen that you have right now to achieve what it is you're trying to achieve, if there's an element missing. So here's a great example, right? I'm going down to examples here. And so like say your main problem is you just can't focus. You're having a difficult time focusing. But you also have some working memory issues at the same time, right? So focus is an issue. You just cannot sit down and focus on tasks, but you also have on the side like some working memory issues. So you've got a stack of 40 milligrams of fasiracetam. You have 100 milligrams of uridine, some CDP choline. We'll go 80 CDP choline. And then you have like a gram of oxiracetam, okay? Gram of oxiracetam. May or may not be a focus stack for you. For some of you, may also work for a focus stack for some people. It's a pretty good template, okay? So that stack solves your focus problem, but you're then looking to do other things like fix the working memory element of it. So that stack is helping your focus, but you're wanting to get the working memory thing solved, and you're a person with ADD, right? This again, I'm not prescribing this stack or suggesting this stack for people with ADD or variants, but templates like this tend to be highly effective for those type of people, right? In addition to some other compounds. So let's just say you have that stack. You're trying to target now this working memory issue, and if you rush the necessity to get something in, you're probably just going to run into negative results. So a good example on rushing would be, oh, I need to fix this working memory thing. Let me just add 10 milligrams of Noopept or something, okay? I'm going to add a memory compound to the mix. and because I'm just sort of rushing to fix this issue. Well, that may or may not be effective. Nootropic on its own and dosed appropriately with other compounds can be useful for memory, but that might just imbalance choline signaling to the point where you feel tired or don't feel good. In fact, it probably would in that stack right there. You'd want to bring coliracetam in if you're going to bring an extra cholinergic in, especially if you're having any kind of choline symptoms, and that would indicate you're not uptaking and recycling and using choline and binding it to receptors appropriately. Okay, so that's just one example when really all you probably had to do to optimize memory is change the stack that you have. Not necessarily being in a rush to add other compounds, but changing the stuff that you have. We've got a choline source in the mix. Maybe we just got to bump the choline source up. I mean, CDP choline and creating more acetylcholine in general should make your memory better. So maybe you bump it up to 120 and you try again. Okay. The point is, when you have a working stack and a good regimen, you do not want to, for recovery or for nootropics, you don't necessarily, because there's this other thing that you think is a deficit, want to add things. You want to see if there's a way that you can improve upon the stack, because then you start getting convoluted with a bunch of different compounds. And then you lose this simplistic base that you had that was working. And usually what folks do at that point is they go, oh, forget the whole stack, which is crazy, right? You just have to go back to the stack and make adjustments. I mean, that stack technically should be effective for memory, but you know, it's just a good example. What else did I want to say? Yeah, I guess this really applies to a lot of different things. I mean, it applies to the PSSD realm as well. That area is a little bit tricky when it comes to, you know, the need to add certain compounds in, but a lot of recovery in those kind of major situations, it requires time for the stack. Also on that ADHD stack, like it may just take more time for it to do what it's going to do. Like if we had 9-MeBC into that ADHD stack, then that could take some time to regulate dopamine receptor function. If we had bromontane in that stack, it just could take some time. So here's an example of one regimen, one PSSD regimen that has been effective for a good bit of folks. 1,500 milligrams Bacopa Monnieri, regulating SERT, 120 milligrams rhodiola, 5-HT neuron regeneration in the hippocampus, 1 gram SJW, 9 milligrams boron, half a teaspoon of Cistaunch, working on the test side of things, a B complex, making sure you're getting phospholipids, so something like sunflower lecithin, and then maybe you have a cholinergic in there because choline is a huge part of PSSD recovery. And so let's just say you've got 200 milligrams citicholine in there. And you happen to be properly uptaking the choline, and there's nothing wrong with the uptake system and the receptor binding on the choline side, so it's just helping you release a little more dopamine, which is what it does, and then also bump up acetylcholine concentrations. Again, this is one PSSD stack, not a cure PSSD stack. It's a good regimen, has worked for some people to keep them really functional. You may not be getting, and this is a good point about PSSD in general, where people switch between, like they'll try something for a week or something, like, it did nothing for me, right? But what did you take with it? Were there supporting compounds in it? Did you have supporting cofactors that you need in order for one or two of the compounds to function correctly? That's the nootropics world, and the recovery world using chemicals and nootropics is riddled with that. Needing cofactors in for things to happen. Coliracetam with choline sources for uptake is a great example of that. So a person might be taking this for PSSD and they may have some negative symptoms initially, like for whatever reason, brain reorganizing itself, SERT regulating, the brain not knowing what to do in response to it, possibly some neurogenesis happening, some receptor expression enhancement happening. You really never know. Or you get some results, but it's not quite what you want. And you've got like some other things that are still wrong, like, libido improved, sensitivity improved, but they're just still kind of weak. you might need to just give that regimen a little more time. Don't throw the regimen away. Don't deem the regimen ineffective. Don't add anything else to the regimen. When you have a regimen that is giving you some success with anything, recovery or nootropics, whatever, layer upon it, yes, but be very careful when you layer upon it and bring more compounds in. Do it really, really slowly. You always need to have that base to go back to. Like, if you have a strategy for something in life and you start doing things differently, you always have to remember, and then you get negative results, you always have to remember, go back to the base of what you were doing. I posted a gaming video recently because I'm into gaming, and I have weapons in Call of Duty Modern Warfare that the base of the loadout, meaning the hand grip and the other grip and the sight and the barrel and the buttstock and all that, is great. And then I start changing it, right? I start adding on to it because I'm rushing to maybe make it better. There's some sort of deficit. And then I lose completely because I didn't save the loadout what the base was. And maybe I just need to get better with that weapon. I just need to physically be better with that weapon. That's just kind of one example of it all. But stop rushing compounds into your recovery. Recovery takes time. You're looking at repairing a bunch of chemistry, and the brain does not work in a way where if you've got the right regimen, instantly you're going to feel 100% better. I mean, you should see positive signs when you're taking the right stuff, but that stuff takes time. In the case of PSSD, it is absolutely not like the one tablet of fluoxetine or paroxetine or sertraline that screwed everything up, right? This is a longer term recovery thing. Last great example, actually, in the PSSD community in general, I just had a biohacker friend tell me that he took agmatine, I don't really know how you spell it because I don't mess with it all that much. I forget exactly what the mechanism of action is for it, but it basically made his PSSD worse instantly. And, okay, so maybe remove it. First, secondly, you should be on a regimen. No singular compound is going to work. I need to emphasize that point over and over again to folks. You need a regimen to repair a system that is broken in a variety of ways, right? You would need a variety of different inputs to try to fix that. But in a lot of cases in PSSD, folks will try something. You're already setting yourself up for failure because you're going, oh, this one chemical. Did anyone try this? Have you tried this? Have you tried this? It's not about one chemical, guys. But some compounds may give you some negative results initially, but you need them in the regimen. So people give up on stuff. I don't know if agmatine would be effective for this person, in conjunction with another regimen. Possibly. It's you can't try a compound for a day and be like, oh, that's it. I mean, you need data, man. You need a lot more time than that. And people are just sort of going back and forth between stuff oh, no, I'll try this. Oh, negative response. But possibly it was something else that you did that caused the negative response. And now you completely cancel the ability for this compound to work. You've written it off completely. Hi, my gal just popped in. And that's a bad thing. But the overarching point is if you have a regimen that's effective for what you're doing, but there's something else missing, I wouldn't be rushing other compounds in because you might fuck up the stack and you might be doing other things that aren't good. I would try to modify the existing stack and try to help it facilitate what it is you're missing, and or possibly give that stack more time. Now, don't give it 3 months. If you're 3 months later and nothing has happened, nothing better has happened, then you may need to look at, if you've adjusted the doses on the regimen enough intelligently, you may need to look at bringing some other things in. But that should only be based on sound research that you've done, that you've concluded will be effective in aiding in this last missing thing that will not fuck with your current state using the current regimen, okay? Hope all that makes sense. I know it's pretty complex. It's high-level stuff, but it's the stuff that I deal with all the time in consulting folks on either nootropics or PSSD or ADHD. A lot of people come to me. Usually I get the call when the most expensive, world-renowned doctors can't fix people's problems, and then they come to me and we get them straight. Hope that makes sense. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Keep a lookout for these Nootropic shirts here. I'm in the process of getting them quoted. I've got to get them made. Probably 2 or 3 designs at least initially. I just want to see how they resonate with you folks. I'm pretty sure folks are going to be into them because they're sick. Right now we have a Uridine CDP one and a Fueled by Aniracetam one. If you guys have any ideas or shirts that you would buy, please comment in the comment section and let me know, and I will see if I can get them made, and we'll have them available sometime soon. Can't give you a time frame. There's a lot of projects I'm working on. Nootropic God Class kind of took a back seat due to some other stuff that I'm working on. So look forward to that. Meantime, Cortex stack, $34, livecortex.com, cheaper than all the other pre-made stacks and better than all the pre-made nootropic stacks that are out there. That is our customers' words. But my words also. It's a very powerful stack. Mental energy, verbal fluency, motivation, will to work. Get the Cortex stack at livecortex.com. Those of you that are just coming into nootropics, I'm telling you, you have to get Nootropics Ground Zero. I created it for you. The best products are products that you're pissed off don't exist. And I sort of was pissed off that there wasn't a course for people to watch that are new to nootropics so that they don't get confused on Reddit and the web and all these different conflicting dose suggestions out there, and it just makes people crazy and most importantly not get the results they want. Get Nootropics Ground Zero if you're new. We will get you results on nootropics. Yeah, there's a lot of other products you can find nootropics-wise at livecortex.com, including Smarter, Better, Faster interactive audio book. It's a book that teaches you how to surgically use nootropics. Also great for new people, and it's a page-turning audiobook. So you see the pages turn, and then I'm reading it while the pages turn. It's a really, really sick product on nootropics. Get Smarter, Better, Faster interactive audiobook at livecortex.com. Find a bunch of other products on nootropics at livecortex.com. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Talk to you next time.